It depends how much you want to make. I'm not going to make too much rice this time.
So that's 1 cup of rice?
1.5 maybe. That's not more. Cups. Then I'm going to wash it and leave it in the...
Now she's washing 1.5 cups of rice and leaving it in the water to soak. She just rinsed the water a second time. This is the 3rd time that she filled the water. Now she's just going to let it sit and soak. Next, she is plucking. She's about half of this fresh parsley. She's just going to use about half the bunch. You can also use dry parsley, but it's better to use fresh. First, she drizzled the parsley in salt, and now she's soaking it in cold water. Next, she's squeezing the water out of the parsley, and she's going to chop it using the food processor. However, if you don't have a food processor, you can chop the parsley by hand. Next, you chop half a white onion into the food processor with the parsley. Of course, if you don't have the food processor, you would just chop it or dice it by hand.
Same thing.
Next, she is adding 3 cloves of garlic to the food processor. Usually, she crushes and minces the garlic with a pestle and mortar, but right now she just decided to use the food processor instead. Next, you're going to add the chopped parsley, garlic, and onion to a pound of ground beef. Then you're going to add salt, black pepper, and 7 spices.
Stand this way.
There's the black pepper. And next will be the 7 spices.
Kükemenishi. I'm trying to remember what it is. There's 7 spices.
Seven Spices already has ground nutmeg, but she's also adding a little extra. It makes it smell really nice and fragrant. She just sprayed a baking dish with ham. However, I would use 100% avocado oil or olive oil instead. Next, she is slicing 2 medium-sized tomatoes. She's adding the tomatoes to the bottom of the baking dish. This will be the bottom layer of the kefta. Next, she's going to mix the kefta, parsley, spices, garlic, and onion by hand. After mixing everything together by hand, she is forming the kefta into an oval shape that looks like this. And she's adding it to the top of the tomatoes. This is what the kefta dish looks like after she added all of the kefta that she formed into these oval shapes. Next, she is peeling 5 medium-sized potatoes and adding them to a bucket of cold water. She is now slicing the potatoes into little wedges. Next, she drained the water out of the potatoes and she's
wash them again.
Okay, and she's refilling it and rinsing them again. She's drizzling the potatoes in olive oil.
And the spices.
She's also adding salt, pepper, 7 spices, and a drizzle of fresh lemon juice. Next, you mix the potatoes by hand and then add them onto the tray. Next, she's taking the bottom of the spiced lemon juice and adding it to the top of the tray. This is what the baking tray looks like when it's complete. If you would like to, you could also add more tomatoes to the top. However, she put the tomatoes on the bottom to protect the meat from burning. Next, she is going to add the tray to the oven. She is preheating the oven to 425 degrees. Next, she is dissolving 1 cube of chicken Maggi bouillon. After about half an hour in the oven, the kefta has been browned, and she's adding the dissolved chicken bouillon water on top, and then she will put it back into the oven. Next, she added olive oil to a pot with a good chunk of butter, and she has it on a level 7, boiling. Next, she's adding sha'riya to the pot.
It's called vermicelli.
It's vermicelli noodles in English. The water has been soaking to make it soft, and she just drained it with a strainer. She just rinsed the rice again and is letting it sit in the strainer. The vermicelli noodles need to get browned before we add the rice to them. Now that the vermicelli noodles have been browned, she added the rice. She's just going to stir it all together. It's still on a level 7, medium high.
You add some salt.
Next, she's going to add some salt.
Just a dash.
Just a dash of salt. It's a little more than a dash, but yes, a little salt.
Maggi bouillon water.
Now she's going to add some of the Maggi bouillon water on top of the rice. And she's going to stir it all together. She added the pot cover and reduced the heat from a level 7 to a level 5 to let the rice cook. She is stirring the rice to ensure that it doesn't burn.
And I'm going to lower it again.
She's going to lower the heat again from a level 5
To level 2.
to a level 2 to let it simmer. It was on a level 5 for about 5 minutes. Another 5 minutes on a level 3. She turned off the heat, but is letting the pot sit to let it stay hot. The heat in the oven from a 425 to 300 degrees after 45 minutes of the kefta, potatoes, and tomatoes being in the oven. Taken out of the oven, and it was on 300 degrees for about the last 15 minutes. And in total, it was in the oven for about an hour.